Hi, I'm Sean, and a few of you asked me to do a YouTube walk around of my FJ. So here I am. This is me around, and then we'll start talking about some of the things that have been done. Now, you'll notice there's some new damage on it. I kind of flipped this thing on its side a little bit on the last trip out to Moab. Got into the escalator first time without a spotter and got a little too high on the right side. Was able to get it flipped back upright with the help of the hydro steering and a little well-timed gas. So I just replaced this quarter rear panel, glass here. And I've got some minor scratches and dents that I'm going to pull out later and get those fixed. So I'm going out to Ouray next week, but I'm planning on starting to work on the scratches and dents and get that fixed for my next trip, hopefully. If you see something and I forget to talk about it, just comment in the the links, or comment down below and let me know what it is, and I'll try and do another video and cover those areas. Okay, here we are. I decided to start with the inside of the FJ, kind of cover a lot of that stuff, starting with the full cage in here. So you can kind of see from the back here that I went through the floor and used some I bought them on Summit Racing. They're these mountable rubber seals that you can actually mount to things, so it allows the tube to pass through. And then you can see the cage. It's a full ring that goes around the top. And everything kind of ties in together. I've got PRP seats with harnesses connected. And you'll notice the floor and the sides and the roof, they're all coated with the lizard skin coating. I did the ceramic coating and then the rubber coating on top of that. Trying to get good visual on everything here. And the foam wrapping the tubes is not the final product. I'm actually looking to make some wraparounds that are out of blue vinyl that have either zippers or Velcro to cover it all. Now, and while we're here, I have a camera system. It's a DVR. It's mounted right here. It's a ProVision. It'll support up to 8 HD cameras. Now I'm going to go around to the back seat. Not really a very good video person, so hopefully this shows you guys in detail everything that I've done here. Then I have the PRP. They're the reclinable suspension seats with the paracord. They're really comfortable. I love them. And you'll notice everything in here except for the cage and the seats is all still pretty much stock. Stock radio. I did paint the gear shift bezel to match blue. I have all my switches here, that is not what it's going to be. I'm going to actually go with something different here. I just haven't figured out what I want to do yet. This is temporary. Maybe S-Pod, maybe something else. I'm not sure. It's work in progress. I have very basic lighting. That's going to change when I figure out what I want. But yeah, the cage is I'd say pretty stout and going to survive a a few rollovers. So if you get any questions about it, let me know. Then all my wiring is run underneath this, just along this little trough area. And I have the ARB twin compressor mounted under my seat here, which is really nice. It saves me the space of having to fit it in the engine compartment, and also the heat of, the heat won't fry it then. I have the little grab handles here that I made, for getting in and out, helping you, because the vehicle is kind of tall. I'm going to go over this rear, it's a actual swing out and a swing down bumper here, tire cage combination. It's nice because I can mount my high lift jack on it, but you can see if I unpin it here, it actually will swing out. And then if you fold this back up, it locks in with these bushings here. There's a little spot up here for both sides to lock in with a pin. Okay, now we're going to move on to my sliders. You can see they fit up real tight to the body line, and underneath they go all the way down to the frame at an angle, which is really nice. This side didn't really get drug on anything on the last trip, but I'll show you the other side. I got some scrapes. And here we are on the driver's side, which I scraped on it quite a bit, and it held up really good. Very minor surface scrapes, as you can see. I really like how they're working. They slid really nice on the rocks. Didn't really drag or stop on it. Everything was really smooth. Okay, I'm going to cover some of the stuff in the engine bay area. You can see the tube cage going around the engine and how I got all of that in there. I'll come down here so you can see where the frame actually, the tube cage comes out of the frame and it ties in. And if I don't mention something you want to know about, just comment on it and I will make another video. This here is my fuse box, which was on the other side where the coilover sits now. So I extended the wiring and put it into this 50 cal ammo can, which worked out really well. And it's nice and sturdy. I like it. So this 4-inch air cleaner here I got from Summit Racing. It was about 60 bucks. Worked out perfect. I got some of this silicone tubing to make the rest of the air intake with, and it's actually the turbo for turbos. And it connects in, works really nice. I had to modify and make my old reservoir for the coolant work. I have a Griffin radiator, aluminum radiator here, because my stock one would not fit. I had to do that. And then I have two 10-inch, I don't know if you can see them very well, two 10-inch fans, electric fans down there that fit onto the shroud. I have an Optima battery mounted sideways here. And I had to make this case to fit the Optima, which has the weirdest shape of a battery you've ever seen. And then I cut out some holes in it to relieve some heat. The switch that you see mounted here is the kill switch for my winch. So it's powered to the battery, and then you can kill the power to the winch. I have 16-inch King coilovers, and they're IBP. They have the adjustable reservoirs for adjusting the firmness. They sit right about with 6 inches of up travel when you're just sitting here. I have the, well, let's see, let's talk about spring rate. So I'm running a 300/400 spring rate. I started with the 200/300, but with all of the weight of the cage that I added, I had to bump it up to a 400 spring on the bottom, and it seems to be working really well. You'll notice down here, this is the actual bracket I had to fabricate to connect my panhard to the frame and going over to the axle down here. I have the PSC hydraulic ram and hydraulic steering here. I had to fabricate this huge slider slash mount, weld it and custom make it to go onto my Dynatrac Dana 60 Pro Rock 60 axle. And you'll see right here, you can see some bolts. So this plate is removable on this side. This side, these two brackets for the ram are just bolted in. These are welded, and then these are bolted into those welded mounts. Over here though, this plate is actually not attached to the mount here on the axle. This plate actually unbolts, and then these are welded to the plate that comes off. That way I can take my ram off and actually get into the pumpkin if I need to tear it apart and get in there. So it makes it serviceable, and it's worked out really well. I have ARB lockers. I'm running 538 gears in both axles, which of course you have to. I have the King 2-inch bump stops, which are adjustable. I love the fact that they're adjustable. That's why I went with that. So if I change my setup or want to modify it, not happy with it, it's easy to change. I have limit straps that I got from Cartech. They're blue, of course, like everything else on here. I really like them. I got the adjustable clevis mounts, so I can adjust for when the straps stretch. Here's my hydraulic steering box here. Let's see. I have my KC RGB rock lights. Let's see. Then I guess I can talk about these my links. I have a 3-link on this, front and back, but these links are 2.5-inch wide, 48-inch long, lower links. They've worked really well. They're strong. I've drug on stuff, and they really haven't gouged at all yet. I'm sure they will, but they are super strong, and I like them so far. Let's see. I'll go over to the other side now so you can see the bottom area down there. As we're going around, we'll hit the front bumper. This is the front bumper that I fabricated. Got a super winch on it, 12,000 pound winch. I have the KC turn signals mounted right there. These are KC 2-inch pod lights that I mounted in the bumper. I love them. Some KC cube lights, which I like a lot. They seem to work really well. And then my headlights, they're the Genesai Demon Eye lights. They are really cool. They have several modes. Usually I'm running them with the outer ring lit up in blue, which looks really, really cool. Especially for my vehicle. And of course we have the load resistor here, one for each side on the LED turn signals, otherwise they flash super fast, so that's how you fix that if you don't know. Trying to hit everything here so you can see it good. I have JBA headers on the engine here. You can see right here. And then on this side you can see how I tied into the existing frame where I cut it off right here. and you get the main tube here coming out that runs all the way up to the front bumper, and then you have a supporting tube here which helps to you know, brace and support the existing main tube, give it some extra strength. Okay, I'm gonna go underneath here so you can kind of see some of this. Now, you see my existing kind of, it's a skid slash transmission cross member and Atlas cross member back here. So it's worked well for about 4 years, but I'm really thinking of taking it out and making something that goes across the entire bottom, kind of more flat bottom, this area. So that's something that I want to work on in the future. And you can see I have an aluminum skid plate that covers my gas tank here. That's actually an RCI made skid plate. I've had it for 6-7 years and it's worked really well. I have a Flowmaster on my exhaust, which is almost 2.5 inches all the way out. And then we're going to go to the back. So in the back here I have King coilovers. These are 12-inch coilovers. Not as much room to see as there is in the front. But they've worked well for me. And let's see here. This is one of my other rock lights. And then I have the Curry anti-rock sway bar set up in the back here. Which goes with my Curry Rock Jock Dana 60 that's mounted back here. Then I have a small 2.5 gallon air tank mounted under here, which helps to speed up on my first tire I rear up, or I can run the air tools easier with it. Then I still have my factory trailer hitch mounted on the back here. So I made this skid, which works really well for dragging over things. I have cameras. The one that's mounted on the back tire cage bumper. And then I have one on each side of the mirrors right now. I'm probably going to change the location of those. I haven't decided where yet. As you can see, this one took a beating when I flipped it on the side, so it's got to be moved anyway. So you'll see it has the AC condenser mounted right here in front of the radiator. I had to make custom length AC lines. This one right here, and then the one that goes to the compressor down here. You can see it coming out right here. This one and the other one had to be extended about 10 inches because of the wheelbase on this is now 126, and I extended the front end 11 inches. The back end sits about 5.5 inches further back, so the wheelbase on it's 126 now. The width of the tire to tire outside right now is 87.5 is where it's sitting right now. I have the Nitto trail grapplers on it right now, and those are the 40-inch, 13.5 wide. I'm planning to go with the Mickey Thompson's stickies that are the 43 by 14.5 wide, and I'm looking forward to that. I didn't really talk about the back. The back has also a 3-link setup with the Panhard. You can see the top link right up here coming off of the bridge that goes across the top of the axle there. And then I have my bump stops up here with a pad for them to come down to. I think this gives a good picture of the rear setup. If you need more detail or want to see anything else, let me know. One more look at the front setup.